Hey guys, this is Andrew at FloryPB, and this is, I guess, the actual first video I've made in a long time. And I kind of had this opportunity because I'm positive with COVID, and had a bad week with it, but my fever just broke this morning. I feel significantly better than I have for the last week or so, and yeah, I'm kind of in isolation down here in my basement. Kind of sucks, but it really sucks. But I feel good, and I might sound a little stuffy. I'm sorry about that, but I got some videos I want to do. I got some things I want to get finished up, and I have a perfect opportunity right now to do it, as long as I feel comfortable or healthy enough to do it right now. So what I want to talk about right now is probably maybe 2 years ago at this point, hopefully a year ago, but probably 2 years ago, I said I got a bunch of these valve stems made. And this is a new style valve stem. And my intention is to try to new style valve stem for LED, LCD, IR3. And this is a twofold thing. First thing, Cupseals or valve stems, they're dying, and you know, there's only a limited stock of this. So I felt like there needs to be an alternative for that limited stock, or at least I want one to pull from. Second thing, I figured maybe I can make it a little better. Just to, not a little better, it's the wrong term, but try to make it drop the pressure. Hopefully drop the pressure enough where I can use a standard output Ninja tank now, like a 650 PSI output tank. I don't need an 800 PSI output tank, because they're just harder to come by and they're just less versatile now. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Feels like there's a weight on my chest. But, there's one. But I had these machined up, and they worked out great. I really like them. They're harder steel than this, but it's not hardened. I just wanted to make it something a little bit of quality. And yeah, you can see it's a little different looking. Definitely gives you more airflow. And my intention was to use Delrin for the actual cup sealing material, but try as I might over the last year and a half, I've played with it, and I just can't get it to reliably seal. It's too hard. I can't get it to reliably seal against the factory valve body. If you take some toothpaste and you grind it in and you lap the valve, you can make it seal. But that's just too much work. And I don't expect many people to go through that just to get that little gain you get from having a harder cup seal material. Because the harder your cup seal material, the quicker that actual opening is. And it's just milliseconds, but the first little milliseconds is what matters the most. So the cleaner that comes off, the better your valve ends up being, the more efficient your valve is. Well, closing matters too, but that's just the starting dwell. Getting the most out of it as possible, and this is the softest material, was the original material. Delrin, too hard to be reliable. So I settled for nylon, and I had a guy down in Georgia make up a bunch of these, and they're wonderful. And I decided, you know, because I wasn't doing the standard, let me throw a couple stabilizer fins on it, just to try to give you some more power to shut the valve. So basically this doesn't do anything when the valve's shut, but when it's opened and you have airflow dragging around these fins, it helps force that valve closed quicker, which is what you want. You don't want to lose all that extra air in the background after the ball starts leaving. You already got all the air you want. You want this thing to close as fast as possible once it's open fully. So that's what the stabilizer fins are doing, like you see on like an AKA lightning valve. Same concept. And again, that mixed with my new geometry, I'm hoping to just drop the pressure enough to be able to play with a standard pressure tank now. But one thing happened in all this. These things are machined very well. Honestly, I really like how they're machined, but I think I gave them the wrong dimension, because when I put my valve in, and I have 0.12, and when I put the stock valve in, I have 0.134. So there's a little bit difference between, well, clearly that matters a lot because I'm not lifting my valve open as much as the stock valve is lifting open, which is a problem. I'm not getting the velocity I want to get out of this right now. So I need to modify all of these, which is a little difficult at this point. If I would have known that, I guess the fit up, when I press fit this on, I lose a little bit of tolerance or whatever. I wasn't expecting that. So now I got to modify all the parts I had made. So we're going to shoot upstairs to the lathe, and I'm going to try my damnedest to not remake these, but just to modify these in order to work correctly. So we're going to head up there now. Alright, so what we did here is I took a big chunk of aluminum and I turned the face down flush. I then put some double-sided carpet tape on it and I pressed them all in there against it pretty hard. So I have this bit, which, can you see it yet? This is actually high-speed tool steel instead of carbide on that insert. And our goal is to pull off like 15 thou. So that's 0.104. Be very gentle with this. I don't know if it's going to work, but hopefully it does. So we're going to come in, take a very, very shallow pass, and then we move some stuff out of the way. We're going to come in, just kiss it, take off a little bit. I want to take off between 13 and 15 thou total out of this thing. I need this. So we're just going to set up this gauge when we're cool, once we establish our skim pass. And here goes nothing, guys. I think I touched it. Back out. Here goes nothing. Definitely going slower than I have to, but I don't have a lot of these to do. This is almost half of them on one little setup. I'm run on the high-speed steel because it's kind of sharper than the carbide inserts would be, especially for something like plastic. It doesn't need a carbide insert, it just needs something really sharp. This is nylon, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. I hope you can hear me over the ruckus, but so yeah, it has touched them all. Got a little fuzzy on them. I can get rid of that. I'm going to back off a touch. Okay. We're back to 0. Let me see what we're at. I took a thou. Point. Oh wait, what did I take? Yep, I took a thou off of it. So that was a really, really light brush I did there. So let me pull. Take 10 thou. I'm going to do 10 thou pull here and get rid of 10 thou of the material. I'll be at 11. Then I'll remeasure it just to make sure, and then I'll do one final real tight skim pass just to clean it all up. Now, when nothing falls off now that I'm actually taking an actual cut. Back that out. Alright, kind of lucky. I have one that is a little bit high, so I can measure this a little bit better. Should have a micrometer to do this, but It's 1.0 or 0.1025. You can see that. 0.103. 0.088. Let me do this over here. .101, 0.089. So I took off 0.012. I feel like I should take off another 0.003. All right, final pass. I'm just going to remark this as 0 on my dial indicator for when I do the next set. Just going to pull that way off. All right, I think I'm where I want to be. I'm just going to pull one off. Wow, that is pretty good holding power there. I have to clean up the edges of these a little bit, but I'm fairly happy with that. .088. .1025. So I took off, I think that's money. It's about everything I need to take off, and yeah, I just got to try to get all these off this thing now. And then I'll probably put a new layer of tape on. Wow. Well, they pop off. Alright guys, morning of the second day of this. I put together a second one just in case one of these doesn't work. And here is our test subject that we're going to install this into. First I want to try to just take the valve. I want to just spin it against the valve just to see what kind of pattern I get. And not super happy with that one. Let me see how this one is. Just see if it's a coincidence or. So good chance these leak like a sieve, but we'll press on and see if we can make this work. These are harder to drop in than before. But I would have done it without the trigger frame on, but it's harder to take all that off. I'm gonna put that in with some magnets instead of trying to screw around with it so much. Just press down on that. Everything's fairly conventional. I have nothing special going on with this marker. That's what I'm using as my test platform. I'm going to use a CP reg just because I have more control with it than the mini reg, bigger operating range. And we're just trying to get baseline numbers if this thing even seals up at all. Let's put the quiet barrel on it. This just has a plug smashed into it and a barrel swab inside of it. Alright. Does it function? Guess my battery's dead. course it is. All right. Should be live. Let me grab a tank. Don't know how much air's in this one, but and here comes the leak. It's almost gone. Sounds super strong. Oh. Yeah, it's almost gone. So, it's getting there. It's barely leaking now, which is great, so it's sealing up decently. I have a lot of pressure in this, though. And this tank's almost out of pressure. This tank is at 550. And my reg's at 460 or something. But that's a result. That sounds really hot, actually. So, not bad. Let me see what a mini reg can do. Now I wanted to set it kind of high because I wanted it to be, I wanted a lot of pressure in there to seal it. Sorry, I hit the camera, guys. I wanted a lot of pressure to be able to force the valve sealed instead of sitting with something with too low pressure and not being able to seal it yet till we massage the valving, because it's still a little hard. So I'm at 480 with a tank with a pressure of less than 600, which, I mean, that sounds like it's going to give me the kind of shot I want. just crinkling a little bit. I don't know if you can hear that, but I'm pretty happy with that. We can work on that. A little bit of lube on the surface just until it gets fully cycled in. And that is a result right there. Let's put a different tank on. Wait, as I drop that. Right, this tank I know is set to a lower pressure. I don't know what it's set to yet, but I have actual pressure in it. 600 psi. So this is the kind of tank I want to try to use. Wow. Leak is gone, but I'm at 560. So 160. It's creeping up. So I'm going to try to stay between this 320 to 400 range. We're going to take it outside in a couple minutes and see how it shoots over the chronograph. And, you know, with an actual barrel on it, not the silencer, which really silencing, right? But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that right now. That looks like it solved my issue of not opening far enough. And I'm excited to see what kind of performance we can get out of this. Then at the end, I'll shove the stock valve back in it. I'll do a comparison between the new valve and the stock valve. Alright, see you guys. Alright guys, it's cold. It's windy. It's about 38 degrees outside. We have the marker together. We're close to 500 psi right now. That keeps moving around. 340, 317. We're back down to 480, 330, 325, 313. 287, 296, 287, 283, 290, 280, and we're about 410, 420 psi. I hope you guys can see that. That seems to be the sweet spot right here. It is shooting nice. Nice as this paint can shoot. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna put the stock valve in it. We're gonna see where that shoots pressure wise. And yeah, I'm gonna warm my hands up. It is cold out here. Okay, so we're back to the stock valve, running roughly the same pressure range. The reg's jumping around, or the pressure gauge is jumping around a little bit. This probably means the reg is too. It's creeping up, so that's why I'm getting a little better. Alright, put it back down to where we were. Yep, right in there. Something happened with my chrono. 264. Good. We're right where we're supposed to be pressure wise. 250, 267, 260, 250. So seeing what, 20 to 30 feet per second jump in the same pressure with the different valve design. Hope you guys can see that. Yeah, you can see that up there. Yeah, so going aside, it's damn freezing, and that's a decent result actually. Alright guys, so just to wrap the video up, this part was made out of, or my cup seal is made out of nylon 6-6. I don't know if there's a better way to say that, but it's a nylon cup seal. Pretty common, it's not uncommon to have nylon cup seals. Rockwell hardness for this is like 110 to 120. Delrin I think is a little harder, that's like 140, maybe 150. I couldn't get Delrin to seal reliably without doing a lot of work, so Delrin was out on the stock valves. The original cup seal material I think is polypropylene, not polypropylene, polyurethane I think. I'm pretty sure it's a polyurethane cup seal. That's going to be around 85-90 Rockwell hardness, or not, yeah, Rockwell hardness. That was the initial one that's in these. So, and again, I keep talking about the hardness of it because that's kind of one of the things that matters so much about the performance. It's that press that it has on it and how much it seals against that lip. When it's softer, it deforms into that lip more, deeper. And when you hit this thing initially, you want this thing to open as fast as you can. And the softer it is, you're just wasting time of your actual, when you have the most momentum hitting this, the most energy, you're wasting that time opening it and not letting air vent, which makes it less efficient. So we're not talking about giant gains, but the harder this material can be and the cleaner you can keep this opening and shutting. You want it to open super fast, get that dwell opened all the way, and then you want it to shut super fast once it has enough, because all that extra air is just being wasted. So that's what the fins do. So basically we made it a little harder to try to help it open a little cleaner. I put these fins on to try to help force the air to shut this thing faster, just to gain a little efficiency. And now the new shape, we're getting a little more air in the gullet to come and flow through, and a little better shape. That gave us about a 30 feet per second gain on, yeah, same pressure, about 410, 420 psi. We were shooting, what, 290-ish? And then we were shooting probably 260-ish when, 265, say a 25 feet per second gain. So that's a result. I'm getting a little lightheaded now. I gotta go take a rest actually with this. But that's it for this video. I'll probably make this all one video now that I'm thinking about it. Hopefully I can do some more videos soon, especially when I don't have COVID. That'd be nice. This is Andrew at FloryPB, and I'm out for now. See you guys.